everybody, available for everybody, ना वो सब के लिए है. Yes.
ये क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? ये चेंज हो गया.
यहाँ से वापस.
So open the channel.
1 second.
Unlock
You can go back and do it again. हाँ पूरा बंद करके ना तो YouTube दोबारा से.
ये
जैसे ये होता है ना, तो यहीं से आपने
Sir, test started.
Alright.
हेलो किस अपने WhatsApp में share
क्वेश्चंस को थोड़ा आ जाए ना.
अभी it will take time.
इसको थोड़ा देख यार क्वेश्चन में डाल कर दें.
यहाँ क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं.
गुड.
We live now?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, friends. We have started this live session for the first time today. Our aim is to interact with you with as many candidates as possible. For those who been to SSB, want to go to SSB, who have some doubts about something, so we're going to spend this quality 1 hour every week to interact with you all. And we'd like to have your feedback also on what you feel about it and what can be done to improve it.
Good afternoon, all of you. We are waiting for your questions.
We have Colonel Chahal, I am Colonel Gadyok, and with me is Colonel Ashokan.
Questions are
I
coming.
want to take.
Yeah, Tony vibes, yeah, him, sir. Yes, they are. Krish says, I want to take admission in your institute. Please guide me. Krish, I presume you are wanting to join for the SSB. See, in our institute, we run 2 kinds of preparatory courses. One is for people who are going for the Services Selection Board, and secondly, those who want to go for the entrance examination for the NDA, CDA, CEFCAT, etc. Fine. So,
We could ask him.
what are you wanting to join? What do you want to do?
Volume.
Krish, can you hear me? We have Tony who joined us. We have Bahadur who joined us. Budhar who joined us. Yes, I am facing problems in my command task. Okay.
Just one second,
Yeah.
sir. Krish has just asked that he wants to join for NDA. Sir.
Written
So now,
examination? Yeah.
Krish, is it for NDA written preparation or is it for the SSB? That's what we were asking. So in case you want to join for the SSB or for the NDA written, either way, we are taking a batch on coming Monday. For NDA now we have 7 weeks course. Normally we have a 8 weeks course, but right now since the time is short, we are left with 7 odd weeks. For the SSB we have a 2 weeks program. So you'll have to tell us whether it is for the SSB or for the NDA written.
You can see our website. It will give you both the options. And inside we have a number of more questions coming up. So we'll take them up. Ayush Rajwat, please suggest some hot topics for current affairs at the SSB.
You see, current affairs for the SSB, basically you must know what is happening in the world today, mostly the geopolitical situations, which trouble spots in the world today. The whole world is discussing about Gaza Strip, that is Israel and Palestine issue, then of course the Ukraine issue, which is the last 2 years happening, and also you may like to see what are the major events happening now. For example, president's election in US. Then the election in UK, which is going to happen
It
very
just
soon.
happened.
No,
The results have come.
Yeah, results
With
have already come.
The drastic change which is happening there. The
Labour
SEO
Party is going to
SEO
do.
summit which has happened just 2 days ago, where a foreign minister went, issues which are emerging there, discussed between India and China, or the global issues. So you have to keep in touch with what's happening around the world and read something about it.
And among the Indian topics also, Manipur issue and about the army, what is happening in the armed forces, what is the latest modification which is happening in the strategy of armed forces like theater command, all this.
Okay, Budhar, now he got some issues about the command task. Would you like to take on?
Yeah. So, Budhar, actually command task is a task where the assessor has already kind of made up his mind on the first day after he's seen you in the first initial 7 tasks as to where you stand. Based on that, he would have assigned you a command task depending upon your level, as also the areas of your personality that he wants to corroborate or reconfirm. Let's say he finds that this person is is not able to speak very freely, or he has issues with clarity of his thought process, or maybe he has fear of heights, or any aspects of your personality that he wants to reconfirm or corroborate. Based on that, he would assign you a command task. So if you have the basic practical work sense that you would have exhibited during your PGT and the half group tasks, based on that he would have taken you to your own level of a task. So the task will not really be difficult for you. It will be matching with your own caliber. However, the point that you have to keep in mind when you go through this task is that you have to exhibit the aspects of your personality which are going to create an impact on him. For example, you got to be a person who's able to very confidently explain to the subordinates as to what the task is, give a 30 seconds briefing. So while the task is happening, you got to show a lot of positive energy, a lot of and also be careful about the rules. Also be careful that your subordinates are well informed as you go through the task. You have to keep explaining to them as to what you're doing. So try and be as interactive with your subordinates as possible, and make sure that whatever interventions that GTO is doing, that he's maybe raising the level in between, he's denying you some helping material or denying you some structure, so you are able to appropriately give him via media or another option, because he wants to see how good you are in that. So therefore the single most important thing is to remain very interactive, to show a high positive energy, and make sure that you are going through the task the way GTO wants you to do. So that those are the things that you have to keep in your mind.
See,
Okay,
you may
yeah.
have to come to Olive Greens maybe for a 2 weeks of training program. For that, you do a live session exactly the way it is going to happen at the SSB, and also go to our YouTube channel. You will find a lot of command tasks, small snippets. Please see that so that you can come here and do a proper training.
Nothing can replace a personal experience. So therefore, work through experience through this program is a good thing. You always learn better. You learn the most. Now, Ram Sharma has got an interesting question. Jai Hind, he says, I want to ask how to prepare for handling pressure put on by the IO, by the GTOs, the psychologists. Now, Ram, you must understand why we see the whole idea is to select a potential officer who can handle a challenging job. Right? It's not a 9 to 5 job, it's not a fixed office job, so for you have to face various crises. So aim is to see your presence of mind. Of course, see what is pressure? When you do something unknown, when you put into an unknown situation, right? Or questions are a little tricky. So what is the best thing is the best antidote is presence of mind. The moment you lose your presence of mind, you get little haphazard, you come under pressure, and therefore you are not logical. Right? So the basic thing is to work on your one can say, try and be quiet for some time. Look at the self-talk that you do. There should be not too much of self-chatter in your mind. Quieten your mind for some time. Observe as much as you can. Don't react to any situation without thinking. When you start reacting, you come under pressure. So be proactive in your response. This applies for GTO, it applies for IO, it applies for the interview, everything. Yeah.
But the best part, let me tell you, unless you go through this experience of SSB in a real time, that is what we do at the Olive Greens, then only you will be able to come out of this stress level. So you need proper practice. You cannot learn swimming outside the water. You have to get into the water. So that is what is required.
Ayush had asked a question, says some hot topics for the lecturates. See, the lecturates or the GDs or even the interview के अंदर जो सवाल पूछे जाते हैं, what are they are all current issues. They all revive from time to time. Therefore, like Colonel Lecturette told you earlier, be in touch with what's happening in the world today. The geopolitics, it could be science and technology. A lot of AI is happening. Climate change, a lot of issues which are happening. So be in touch. When I say be in touch, it's not only reading the headlines, go into some details, try and read something. There's a lot of information available on the internet. Do spend some time, make your notes, it will help you to respond better. There are a lot of questions coming up, so we're very excited. Aman Kumar says, I want to know how to improve my communication in English. I am from a village background and there's no environment. Aman, the best thing is that you are motivated. Good thing. In the SSB, we are looking at, though we converse in English, But what is it? We're looking at your awareness levels, we're looking at your confidence, and the ability to put across your ideas in a free manner. So that can be English and Hindi. Don't get stuck only with English. A lot of people don't have. So you can use English and Hindi. Having said that, there's always scope for improvement. So while you are there, wherever you are, pick up a newspaper, an article, read it loudly. Listen to some good talk shows, which gives you an idea how to speak. There are also some apps available where people can converse. I have come across so many people who have conversed online through certain apps and they develop their speaking skills. All those can be done. Yet English is not a binding factor. It's not a limiting factor. It's your thoughts, your ideas, clarity of mind, and confidence, which is more important.
I would also suggest what you do, start reading everyday English newspaper. Every day make it a point to learn at least 10 to 20 new words which is of normal use. फिर उसको आप रात में एक डायरी राइटिंग शुरू करो, इंग्लिश में डायरी राइटिंग. व्हाट हैपेंस इज योर थॉट्स मोस्टली आर इन योर मदर टंग, उसको आप कन्वर्स करके ट्रांसलेट करके इंग्लिश में लिखने की एक क्षमता बनेगी आपकी. दिस इज कॉल्ड कंस्ट्रक्टिव क्रिएटिव राइटिंग. So please start doing everyday English diary writing and start revising the new words which you have learned. This is a very important way you can learn English.
Nikita asks, how many times should I speak in a group discussion? Like to take on?
So actually, there is not the number of times that you speak, it is the quality of what you're speaking up. That is what is important. So you should be aware that in any discussion where there are 10 people speaking, if you do not want to look very overbearing, if you speak about 4 to 5 times in those 15 odd minutes that you get, it should be appropriate. But once again, what is more important is not how much you speak, but what you speak. So, speaking in a very animated discussion is an art. How to, a couple of points that you can keep in your mind while you participate in a very active discussion, which will almost be like a fish market. Firstly, choose the right time to make an entry. Don't speak up when the noise level is very high. Naturally, your voice will get drowned in the noise. Second is that when you speak up, always draw attention before you make your point, because otherwise, invariably, candidates are not going to keep quiet, and if you speak up, you may not be heard. So say something like, ladies, I have a point to make. I would like to add on to so-and-so's point. So now, even now, the candidates won't keep quiet, but at least the assessor will now focus towards you that you're about to say something. So he'll probably strain his ears and try and listen to what you're about to speak. And then when you're making this point, please make sure that it is a real 3-pointer. It is such a point which actually creates an impact on everybody in the group. So it is very important to speak, even if you don't speak much, but you speak very, very relevant, and you speak even 4 to 5 times in a discussion of about 15 minutes, I think it will be adequate.
Narendra Singh says, Jai Hind sir, how do I develop retention power to answer the rapid fire question? Now, Narendra, understand, see, in the interview, the aim is to know you, and therefore you are asked questions to speak in detail. And for that, the question which is formatted is called a comprehensive question, where 5, 6, 7 things are coupled together. So in a way is walking through your journey of life, either through your school or education or home or something. So these are called comprehensive questions, not rapid fire. You generally would find quiz competition. Aim is to make you speak in detail. And therefore, all that is required is listen carefully. The question is about you and your experiences in your education, experience in your job, or experience in your home life, right? So listen carefully and answer in your own way, answer appropriately. He may have asked you 7, 8 questions, but even if you answer 6, 7, 5, 6, doesn't matter. Try and listen carefully. The moment you come into some pressure, okay, how should I remember, should I forget, you will suddenly get confused. Just ध्यान से सुनो, आप ही के बारे में है, and try and answer as much as you can. It's a simple example. If I tell you to pick up sand from a pit in your hand, एक मुट्ठी से sand उठाओ, दूसरी pit में डाल दो, पूरी sand आएगी क्या? गिरेगी ना? So similarly, 8, 9 questions, you may leave 1 or 2, you may forget 1 or 2. I will ask you more. Don't worry. Very often, people who are little kind of anxious, they speak or they answer 1 or 2 and they get confused after that. So that is not a good thing. That shows anxiety. Just listen carefully or अपने हिसाब से बताओ. You may miss 1 or 2. Don't worry. Lakshman says, if I am trained by any institution, isn't it a problem as it will hide my natural personality? And probably GTO, Psych, etc. or the IO will understand. Yes, you are very right, Lakshman. You can be seen the moment you put on an artificial kind of a coat or you pretend to be something else, right? So aim is to understand yourself and aim is to improve and project yourself best. What we do here in Knowledge Business, we be very clear. We are not there to coach you. We are there to guide you in a way, mentor you, to walk you through this system that we have, make you understand how you perform, make you understand what difficulties are you. We can give you some suggestion to improve, but improvement आपने करनी है. We will not give you answers. See, your projection of personality is your projection of personality, but it needs some guidance and corrections because the selection is fairly competitive. 100 go for the SSB, 60 get screened in, or 40 who screened in, only 3 or 4 get recommended. So it is fairly competitive. And people who get recommended, they're not artificial. They're the ones who projected themselves best. And our aim here is also to help you to understand the system, understand where do you perform, how do you perform, what are your areas of improvement, and for you to choose that improvement, that has to happen at your level. We cannot do that. We cannot do that for you.
I would like to add on to that even for the outdoor tasks, for example, even for the GTO series, we will never tell you कि भाई इस तरह का structure होगा तो this is the idea to be made. We will only explain to you the physics behind those ideas. We'll make you understand as to why this is working, why this cantilever is working, or why this idea is going to work. So if you keep those 10 to 12 basic concepts that we would be teaching you here, you will never go wrong. You will be able to apply your own mind, and you will actually not need any one of us, even here in Olive Greens, to implement those ideas. Same goes for the psych dossier. We will never tell you ये picture होगी तो ये story लिखना. We will only explain to you how to approach story writing, how to approach WAT and SRT, what is expected out of you, and how you could align your mind towards what is a better way of representing yourself. So it is very, very important for you to understand that this is not a coaching program where you will be told कि ऐसे होगा तो ऐसे करना. We are here to tell you what is the most appropriate way of approaching it, and also tell you what should you do about yourself so that you are able to handle those questions or those tasks better. That is our intention.
Karsh has a question, very relevant. Here's a question for the GTOs at least. If there's an advantage if we are selected to be a leader for giving the common group plan in a GPE?
See, what are we looking at? You should know that everybody is a leader here. You should know that. You should not think that there is a leader nominated by the GTO. You are a leader also, and you are a team member also. Now, in this whole group planning exercise, we are going to see how you perform as a leader also, and how you perform as a team member also. Now, even if you have been selected finally to represent the group and give the group solution, it really doesn't matter that you have been given a special marks or any special consideration for that. Your overall performance, your participation in the group planning, and also in your distribution, your contribution towards the group plan and the group discussion finally matters. So it doesn't really bother about it. So please don't worry about who is getting finally selected to represent the group.
In fact, I would like to caution you there that some people just want to stand up and represent the group. They volunteer to do that and they make a hash of it. So that can actually be counterproductive. So it is not necessary that the person who gives out the final group plan is going to have a real advantage unless he does it in a very good way. If he makes a hash out of it, it can actually be counterproductive. So you got to be very sure कि अगर मैं खड़ा हुआ, am I going to do a very good job? Only then it will be beneficial for you. Otherwise, it can actually go against you as well.
Pranav has a question, sir. How much we have to speak in the interview means we have to give the point precisely, or we can explain. See, Pranav, the process of speaking to in the interviews is to allow you to speak in reasonable detail so that we can understand you in terms of your journey of life, your school, college, etc. So therefore, the comprehensive question which is asked, it is designed to make you speak in detail. Now, how much to speak, what to speak is very, very appropriate. Some people tend to speak too much, some people beat around the bush, not good. Some people too brief. If I take a minute to ask you a comprehensive question, I'll get a jawab in 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes, which is not good. Fine. A right balance is important, where you explain whatever you done, why did you do it, how did it go, what did you learn, any good experiences, etc. That is an importance. And besides that, how much to speak is pretty balance of the two. How you speak is very, very important. A lot of people speak, they speak with a poker face, no modulation, no expression. Fine. It is the kind of expression that you build into your journey of life. So obviously, there should be energy in that. Connect with the feel good about what you have done, feel good about what you speak. So all those things are important. Overall impression that you create is like that. Okay. What is you looking for in the PGT? Amul Garg.
You see, I would like to start on this. You see, progressive group task is a activity which is a task, and you should know what is a task. Task is not a text or examination. This is task means there are a lot of various multiple answers to that and multiple solutions to it. So in a progressive group task, basically we are going to see your holistic personality by your actions, your movements, your language, the way you connect with the group. So we are going to see holistically how you perform as a leader in the making. So don't become a autocratic leader there. Don't try to dominate the group. Connect with everybody, and your spontaneity in finding the solutions, that is jugaad. How much is practically you are oriented towards the task on the ground, problem on the ground, how you can observe it properly, how you can connect with the problem, and how you utilize the strength you have. What are your strengths? Your helping materials and your group strength, the people around you. How you diplomatically and judiciously use these resources for the common benefit of the group, not for your benefit but for the common benefit of the group, and finish the task in time. That is what we are going to see, and it's a holistic kind of assessment which is going to happen there.
Yeah, Navjot's question is, what should we do to improve our psyche to become an army officer? Would you like to take on?
Yeah, see, there is nothing that you need to actually do to improve your psyche, but you have to become a good human being. Automatically you can ask yourself, if your thought process was nice, if you were able to think clearly, and if you were able to put it down on paper with great clarity, your psyche will automatically become good. So therefore, how you could approach improving your psyche is not by writing stories and writing sentences, is by connecting with the real world around you. So it is very, very essential to be worldly wise, to understand how the world is going on around you. Be very observant when you step out, connect with people, be inquisitive, find out why things are happening the way they are happening, so that when you put it down on paper, you show the clarity of a person who is your age. If you are, let's say, 20-year-old and you are writing stories which you were in 4th, 5th class, naturally it shows that your mental age is not matching with your physical age. So therefore, connect with the real world, be inquisitive, be interactive with your ambient environment, and get to know how things are going. Naturally, you'll be able to write better, stories. You'll be able to approach those SRTs in a better manner because you are aware how things happen on ground. So that is single most important thing we have to keep in mind. Like sir has already told you, that it will be a good idea to do creative writing every day. So whatever experiences that you gathered during the day, you should reduce it to writing and improve your own writing skills. Whatever draft that you've written, whatever script that you've written, usko kaat peet ke improve karo, so that your ability to express your ideas on paper becomes better. So if you have a great flow of thoughts, if you are able to write with great clarity, your expression is nice, your thought process is nice, you have a varied experiences of life which you're putting down on paper, naturally your psyche can't go back.
Yeah, I'd like to add, Navjot, now, see, a lot of people unnecessarily complicate their responses, complicate their stories, make it unnatural, or they try to speak things which are not part of their domain, fine, just because they want to appear better off or better learned or something, but that is not good. All that happens at the SSB is very commonsensical in nature. There's no rocket science. And you know what is common sense? Just to see things as they are and to do them as they ought to be done. And when you have abundance of common sense, that becomes wisdom. There's nothing complicated about it. Just be practical, grounded, creative, listen and learn, be able to learn, fine, be open. That's what creates a better person, and a better person has a better psyche. We have, sir, in a group discussion, how many times we've discussed Amul? What does SSB expect from a graduate, Amul Garg?
See, graduate means you are an adult, right? So we expect you to behave like an adult. Unfortunately, if your general awareness is very poor, your communication is poor, your confidence level is poor, say you are not able to express yourself because you are inhibited by ignorance, all these factors are going to pull down your mental age. So sir was saying earlier about mental age, if you notice. So if your physical age is 20, you are a graduate 21, but you behave like a 12-year-old boy, that means you are a teenager, not an adult. Hence this mental gap, which we are going to see as the assessor at the SSB, it is definitely not going to help you. What you need to do, you have to start thinking like an adult, you have to behave like an adult, you have to have mature thoughts like an adult, and you should have confidence like a would-be leader in the making. How do you do that? By enhancing your general awareness, enhancing your communication skill, and also enhancing your physical and mental fitness. This is very, very important. This is the preparation you must go through now.
So we have generally repetitive questions coming up again and again. We one way or the other covered up. How many times we should speak in a discussion? What is he looking for in the PGT? Basically, again, your presence in a group, your effectiveness in a group, your ability to come across with a meaningful idea at the right time without waiting too much. In a group discussion, how many seconds should we speak at an average? They're not counting seconds like Anchal told you.
It's not an examination.
The impact that you create, the point that you have, the logic of giving out the point, and all those things are important. Yeah, any more questions? I think, yeah. Bhupendra Singh, I am a proud OGN, but at my first SSB attempt, I got screened out. Can you guide me on a few tips again, please? No, Bhupendra, you've been here, you've been to SSB. After all, screening is a process which has got that OIR and PPDT. Very often, what happens in PPDT? You are unable to participate well because the group size is 15, it tends to be a little chaotic. And to be able to make a meaningful impact in a group, some people are hesitant, some people speak too much, or they're not too logical about what they're speaking. So I am not too sure what would they, perhaps one of those things. Anything like you to add?
Last one or two questions.
Yeah.
Basically, PPDT, people who get screened out are generally those who are little mild by nature. They are little shy or little inhibited. So they are the ones who are unable to project themselves appropriately during that very active discussion. So an important tip for someone like that would be that when you narrate your story, you narrate that with great gumption, and you give it out confidently, so that initially only you come into the reckoning. So when the assessors are observing all of these candidates who are sitting there, who are narrating their stories, so invariably people who have the content of the story is good and who are able to nicely express themselves, they already come into the reckoning. So therefore, an important tip would be to narrate it well, confidently, as also during the discussion make effective interventions. Don't speak for the sake of speaking, but speak which is going to make sense to everybody, and you're helping the group to compile the story earliest.
Okay, I'll take the last question now from Sanchita Saha. She says, sir, I gave my first preference as the Air Force. What all questions can be asked? Obviously, Sanchita, if you want to join Air Force, what is your motivation to join the Air Force? What has inspired you to join the Air Force? So some knowledge about the Air Force would be important. We could ask you some questions.
Highlight that blog.
Which branch you want to join, and to educate yourself. We have a blog, very interesting blog on the Olive Green's website, which is titled "Role, Capabilities and Modernization Plan of the Armed Forces." It gives a fairly good idea about the Army, about the Navy, about the Air Force, their roles, how they organized, what the weapon systems, and how are they modernizing. It gives you fairly good information. It's good for everybody. Do read it. And that's all for today. Wish you all the best. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Do give a feedback.
Next Friday we will be again back here in this live session. Please tell your friends also. Everybody can come here and share their views. We will share our answers to you. Thank you.
Thank
Today
you
we are
all.
cutting
God
it
bless
off.
you.
Bye-bye. All the best.
Good day.